As I begin this recording, a friendly reminder to please leave your audio and video disabled. Nothing you put in the chat box will appear in the recording. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Yvonne, you're welcome to take over.
Anyway, so again, I am a volunteer with the San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition. And so again, you may have seen our emblems, our logos throughout the city. We do deal with all sorts of outdoor cat issues. So it's not particularly just TNR, but that is our primary mission. So during this presentation, I'm going to be going over all of that. So again, we are a tax deductible nonprofit organization. So everything that we get is either donations or we get through grants. We were founded back in 2004. So if you think about it, that's like 18 years that we've been here in San Antonio working with stray and feral cats, which is pretty awesome. So our number one mission is to reduce the overpopulation of outdoor cats. So how we do that is we provide education. So that's what I'm doing here today. And we also do offer some rescue. And of course, we're empowering residents, community members to actually be doing TNR to do TNR yourself. So again, I'm going to be giving you all that information today. Now, if you feel that I'm talking a little too fast, or I'm just giving you a lot of information, you're like, wow, Yvonne, that's a lot of stuff. No worries. The San Antonio Public Library is actually recording this presentation and they're going to be uploading it on their YouTube channel. So you could watch this at a later time, pause it whenever you need to do and things like that. All right. So the things that I'm going to be talking about are here on the screen. So please keep in mind when it comes to outdoor cats, there are so many topics that I can talk about. So these are just the ones that I'm going to be hitting on today. I'm going to be giving you all a link to the actual San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition website where you can get tons more information and be giving you more information if for some reason your question isn't answered at that time. So we are going to be talking about some cat lingo. So there are some terms that are specific to the TNR world, like the word TNR. So I'll be explaining what that is, be going over like the cause and effects of why we have so many cats, of course, talking about trap, neuter, and return, the vacuum effect. And yes, we are going to be talking about kittens. So right now it is kitten season and we are getting tons of requests and tons of questions about these kittens. So yes, I will be covering that for sure. Also be covering how to peacefully coexist with the cats that are already here, okay? And of course, how can we, the San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition, help you and how you can help us help you and your communities. All right, so let's start off with some cat lingo. All right, so throughout the presentation, I'm going to be speaking about, I'm going to be using these words so you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. So your first cat there is considered a feral cat. So I have the definition down there for you all to read. So basically these cats do not like humans. So they will let you feed them from a distance, but these are the cats that you really don't want to be petting. So they can be considered like a wild cat, if you will. Okay, so again, unsocialized outdoor cat, really not used to being around humans, don't like humans. So those are your feral cats. Now your stray cats, these are the cats that actually like to be around humans. They don't mind being petted. Maybe this cat used to be someone's pet. Who knows? But this cat actually enjoys, the company of humans. So those are considered your friendly cats or your friendly strays, right? And then the third term is your community cat. So the community cat is both a feral cat and a stray cat. So both of these cats are unowned and they both live outdoors. So this is an umbrella term meaning just the stray and feral cats. And I also refer to them as outdoor cats as well. All right, so here's some more cat lingo for you. Neuter, so you see that boy there in all of his glory. So what a neuter is not we, but the veterinarians take the boy parts away so that they are not breeding, right? And then a spay, same concept, but they do it on the female. So I have a picture there of them shaving her belly because that's where her organs are under her belly. And then you'll also hear the terms fixed and sterilized. So these terms also mean spay and neuter as well. So the term neuter can be used interchangeably. So when I say trap, neuter, and return, it also means spay as well. Okay, so neuter can be used for both of those. All right, so let's get down to basics. So why are there so many community cats? And I'm not just talking about in San Antonio, but nationwide. So why are there so many? So if we think about it, I mean, there's various reasons, but these are going to be the main ones. Okay, so first, abandonment. Okay, so sometimes we have owners or people who think they want a cat when they're kittens, and then when they grow up and they're no longer cute or start spraying or go into heat, they don't know what to do with them, so they just let them outside, or they move, the family moves, but they don't take the cat with them. Maybe they can't afford the cat anymore and they just let it out. Who knows? There are various reasons of why cats get abandoned, but that's one reason why we have a lot of outdoor cats. Another reason might be that the cat got lost. Okay, so again, maybe the family's moving, the cat gets scared by the movers, the cat runs out, doesn't return, family has to move. Maybe you're on vacation and your cat runs out. Again, various reasons of why cats get lost. Now, just to kind of go off on that, if you do have your own cat, so not a community cat, but if you have your own pet cat, to prevent or to help if this ever happens with your lost cat, one, please make sure that your cat is identified. So not only having a collar on his or her neck, but having some kind of identification, your phone number, so somebody could reach you if they find your cat. And of course, microchipping, because sometimes cats like to take collars off. And so, just to make sure that your cat is returned to you if he or she ever becomes lost. All right, another reason why there's so many community cats, it seems like population growth. So if you didn't know, so we did have a recent census, right? And we made the top 10 cities with the most population growth in 2020. So we are up and coming. I mean, just drive anywhere here in San Antonio, there's like construction everywhere, it seems to be, right? So think about it. If there were like wide open fields in the past, and maybe there were some cats there that we didn't even know existed, because they're not around humans. Now, all of a sudden, the land's being cleared. There's buildings, there's apartments, there's businesses being built. Now, all of a sudden, these cats have nowhere to go. So more people are starting to see these cats because, again, they're kind of losing, where they used to live at. So we get a lot of calls saying, hey, I have cats in the back of my restaurant, or I have cats in my apartments, or there's some cats hanging out by my business office. It's because they really don't have anywhere to go. Okay. All right. And then, of course, the number one reason why there are so many community cats, you guessed it, drum roll, please. Not fixing cats. This is it, people. So not fixing a cat. And I'm going to go over the numbers so you could see it for yourself. Cats need to be fixed, okay? So I'm not only talking about outdoor cats, community cats, stray and feral cats, I'm talking about your pet cat too. Too many times pet owners have a cat and about 4 to 6 months, kitty starts acting weird. Maybe she or he is going into heat. Something takes over their little brain and all of a sudden they want to go outside and they want to go outside now. And sometimes they are successful, meaning they're running outside. You may not see them for a couple of days because guess what? They're out there looking for love. They're out there getting pregnant or getting another cat pregnant. They may come back in a couple of days and you may not even know that your female cat is pregnant until, it's too late. So please get all the cats fixed, even if they are your indoor pet cats, because again, they can run out, easily get pregnant and come back. Okay, so there's that. All right, so here's some numbers because of course you math-minded people, math never lies, right? So here we go. An average cat can get pregnant at 4 months. All right, so usually if they're indoor cats, they'll start about 6 months, but if a cat is already born outside and used to being outside, they tend to go into heat a little bit sooner. So, okay, so you have kittens having kittens. All right, and I do want to say, because we've seen it, when the cat is too young to have kittens, she doesn't even know how to be a mother herself. Sometimes the cat's body is so small that she can't even survive the pregnancy. Or two, she doesn't have that motherly instinct in her yet. So when she does have the kittens, she doesn't know that she's supposed to nurse them. She doesn't know that she's supposed to care for them because she's still a kitten herself. And then you have a bunch of abandoned kittens. Okay, so just keep that in mind. An average cat can have 1 to 8 kittens per litter. It's a lot of cats. Okay, average is about 4, but they can have up to 8. They can have 2 to 3 litters per year. All right, and yes, mom cat can go back into heat after 1 month after having her kittens. And when I say going into heat, that means that she is she's ready to mate and she's ready to have more kittens. Okay, so again, just keep that in mind. And gestation period, so meaning how long she stays pregnant, she's only pregnant for 9 weeks. That's it. Okay, so you have a very, very short window. So that's why we suggest getting them fixed before you even, get to that point. And then I have a little chart here with a whole bunch of kitties. So this is what happens when cats are allowed to reproduce. And again, so now you can kind of get an idea of why there's so many community cats here in San Antonio. okay? All right, so if you are feeding cats, please fix them. And I know some people are like, well, I have a neighbor who feeds a lot of cats, and I'll ask, well, are they fixing them? No, they're not fixing them. Well, that's kind of part of the responsibility. Fix the cats that you are feeding, fix community cats. Okay, and I'm going to go over the ordinances that go after that. So if you are feeding cats or know somebody who is, whether it be your aunt, your uncle, your grandma, your mom, neighbor, whomever, right? You want to target your pregnant females first. Now, keep in mind, the pregnancy will be terminated. But again, our mission is to reduce the overpopulation of outdoor cats, okay? Also, you do want to get male cats fixed too. So you want to get the females fixed because one, they can get pregnant, but guess who's getting them pregnant? It's those male cats. So you need to make sure that they get fixed as well. All right. So I have a picture here of a male kitty who's beat up. Okay. And we actually get calls like this where they're like, oh, my male cat is he came back and he's all like torn up and bleeding. And I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. It's because he wasn't fixed. He went into heat. He's out there looking for love. Guess what? There's other male cats that are also looking for love. If there's one female and 3 male cats, they're going to fight for her. And sometimes these cats can get really injured, and sometimes they do, their injuries are so bad that they sometimes get a really bad infection and they don't make it. Okay. So again, let's just prevent all that. Let's just get those cats spayed and neutered. Okay. So since I was talking about feeding, because the new ordinance did pass back in 2020. So if you are feeding cats, go for it. All right. One of our logos is stop the breeding, not the feeding. So go ahead and keep feeding your neighborhood cats, but we are asking you to get them TNR'd, okay? Get them trap neutered and returned, which I'll be discussing in a little bit. But as far as the actual feeding itself, the city of San Antonio is compromising with the cat feeders, right? So this city, I love my city, San Antonio, shout out, but they are actually working with cat feeders, but they are asking 3 things of those of y'all that are feeding cat. 1, if you're feeding cats, please make sure that it is species specific food. It has to be cat food. No more leftover Church's chicken and Whataburger. We know you have really good intentions, but just none of that, okay? Because what happens is it makes a really big mess. It attracts ants, it attracts other animals, neighbors get really mad. It just makes our parks and our apartments and our homes look really, trashy. So just feed them species specific food, okay? 2, make sure that the food is not left out. It's not a free feed environment like this picture here. Again, we know people have good intentions, but again, when you leave food out and you're not supervising it, you are basically feeding squirrels and possums and raccoons and everything else that likes cat food. Okay. And C, do not feed in excess. So again, if you are going to be feeding cats, kind of already know how many you're feeding and feed those cats, okay? Because again, cat food, it can be kind of expensive. And again, you don't want to be wasting food as well. So again, that is an ordinance here in the city of San Antonio. You can look it up yourself. I have it right there. So if somebody's giving you a hard time about feeding cats, but you're following the rules, you are more than welcome to show them this ordinance. And it's also on our website too. So there we go. Win for our caretaker. All right. All right. So back to what we were talking about. All right. So some people ask, and it's a logical question, so why can't we just take these cats to the shelter? Like, don't we have a shelter? Can't we just like drop them off? The answer is no, it is not that easy. And here's why, okay? Number 1, there's just not enough room. There is just not enough room. So I actually included an article here that was done by KSAT, and this was a few days ago. I saw on my Facebook, and they're talking about how they're having a hard time with just the owner surrendered pets. So these are like pets that actually belong to people that are being returned. So if they're having a hard time, housing them, can you imagine if they have room for stray and feral cats? Like, there's just not enough room. Okay. So there's that. And even if they're, you call and they're like, well, you can try your local fosters. Also keep in mind as well, the fosters get filled up really quick, especially during kitten season, because again, this is kitten season basically means mating season was about 2 months ago when all the, cats were getting pregnant, outdoor cats. And now this is when they're having their babies. So that's why we have all these cats all of a sudden. So that's what we refer to as kitten season. So right now, Kin season, most of our fosters are full. And again, number two, sometimes there's just not enough money, there's not enough volunteers, or there's just not enough resources. You know, I'm only one person, and yes, I would love to foster all the kitties in the world, but I, you know, financially and physically cannot, you know, and some of our volunteers run into that as well, you know. Number three, very important, not all outdoor cats want to be pets. Some of them, most of them, they're happier outside. They actually thrive outside. So if you try to put a friendly stray inside and she wants out, she just won't make a good pet. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And number four, the cat may be too wild / feral to be a pet. So if the cat wasn't socialized at the appropriate time and isn't used to being inside or not used to being around humans, they can become dangerous, you know, scratching, hissing, biting you. And they just wouldn't make a good pet. Okay, so just leave them outside. And again, there's nothing wrong with leaving them outside. Okay, so now we answered that question, right? So the next question is, okay, so what do we do when adoption isn't an option? I'm so glad you asked that. All right, the answer is, everybody say it with me, TNR, trap, neuter, return. All right, so this is the only effective and humane method to reduce the overpopulation of cats. So this method is used worldwide. So they've been doing it for about 20 years or so. And so far, this is what works, okay? And you'll know that a cat has been TNR'd, if you will, because you'll see the little left ear tip will be clipped off, okay? So no worries. When the cat is under anesthesia while it's getting its surgery, that's when they do it. They don't clip it when the cat's awake. So it is done under anesthesia, so it doesn't hurt them. And of course, the expansion of TNR relies on all of us. So please go out there, spread the word. Again, I cannot stress enough, if you have a neighbor or a family member that is feeding cats, let them know that they have to get those cats fixed. They have to get them fixed, okay? And not only do they get fixed, but they also get vaccinated too. And I'll go over that too. All right. Now, the great thing, again, shout out to San Antonio, it is endorsed and supported by the city of San Antonio. So we have the official letter right here from the Animal Care Services saying that they do endorse, and they also do TNR as well, trap, neuter, and return, because we know that there are not enough homes for all of the cats in San Antonio. So what's the alternative? Leave them outside and get them fixed. We even have an ordinance in Chapter 5 that says, yes, cats are allowed to be free roaming, just as long as they are spayed or neutered. So that's where we come in, and we help assist with that. Okay, so again, so endorsed by the city of San Antonio, cats are allowed to be outside, and yes, people are allowed to feed cats just as long as they're following the ordinances. All right, so there you go. All right, so what is TNR? All right, so you have T is for trap, N is for neuter, and R is for return. All right, so trap. So if you're trapping a cat, it has to be in humane trap. Now, again, I don't have that much time with you all, and I can talk about cats forever, but this whole process is actually explained on our website. Okay, so if you have questions here, no worries. I'm going to show you where you can get everything answered. Okay, so just know that T stands for trap, and the cat has to come in a humane trap. All right. Neuter. So this means the cat actually goes to one of our subsidized clinics and gets the surgery. Again, neuters male cats, space female cats, so they're basically sterilized so that they cannot reproduce. Could you say that again? Oh. All right, and then return is the cat does have to be returned to where it is trapped. All right, now I do want to throw it out there again, and I didn't put the ordinance up here just because I ran out of slides though. But if you decide to not return the cat to where you caught it from, that is considered animal cruelty, which is an offense, which is against our Sydney ordinance. So please do not do that. It is illegal. Okay, so it has to be trapped, neutered, and returned to where the cat was trapped. Now, just a reminder, this is the San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition's primary mission. So this is what we do. Okay, I mean, we do other things, but that's like the main papa right there. All right, so here's the heart of TNR. Okay, so this is the why does this work? Okay, so again, we were doing research, found out everybody's doing this across the world. So this is why it works. Okay, so TNR actually addresses the real problem by stopping the breeding. All right, so let's just go into it. Here we go. All right, so let's pretend this house is your house or your apartment, your school, wherever it is that cats are hanging out. All right. So remember, TNR does not involve removing cats. Okay. We do not come and take cats and put them somewhere else. What we're doing is we're helping you coexist, peacefully coexist with the cats that are already in your neighborhoods. Okay. So here are the benefits of having these TNR cats. Okay. So one, they do act as guard cats. Okay. So keep in mind that cats are very territorial and they've already kind of marked up your house, your apartment, your wherever it is, right? So they already, marked it up as a cat house. So if there's other cats from another colony trying to move in, they'll scare them away. They'll say, hey, go away. This is not your resource. This is our resource. And so they will keep other cats from moving in. All right. Also, they do help with rodent control. So these are great for apartments. So if you are a working apartment or apartment manager or know somebody, cats are just a natural way of just helping with the rodent control without having to use chemicals and things like that. Okay. All right. Second, the cats are spayed and neutered. So again, you don't have any unwanted kittens. No unwanted mating behavior. I don't know if you've ever seen or witnessed cat mating behavior. It is not fun, right? So you have the yowling and the screeching and the all sorts of weird noises happening at 3 a.m. So you'll have none of that. Like I mentioned before, it reduces the roaming. So you don't have your male cats out there looking for love and getting into cat fights, right? And you'll also have a cleaner area because the cats aren't spraying and, doing all that stuff. All right, another benefit is the cat is ear tipped. So anybody who comes can see that the cat has already been spayed or neutered. And the cat is also vaccinated against rabies as well. If there's more funding, then the cats are also vaccinated against some like common cat diseases, but they are definitely vaccinated against rabies. So let's just say you have some TNR cats in your yard, you're following your feeding ordinances, you have them TNR and they're ear tipped. And let's just say you have a neighbor that doesn't agree with what you're doing and they call ACS on you or they try to call the police on you. When an animal care service officer comes and sees that you're following all the ordinances, then you're good to go. Okay. So that's part of why I'm giving this class is to let you all know what you can do if you are feeding cats. Okay. So you should not get any stigma for doing that. Okay. Again, what we're asking is just make sure that they're fixed and you're following the law. All right. But we still have people who don't care. They're like, you know what, Yvonne, I don't care for cats. I want them off my property. I want to make them disappear. So they'll do whatever. They'll relocate, which is illegal. Sometimes we get calls about cats getting poisoned, cats getting killed, cats getting shot. I mean, all sorts of horrible things, right? But the cats are gone. Now, again, keep in mind that this house has already been marked as a cat house. So that means, guess what? It's just a matter of time before other colonies get the scent and they're going to be drawn to that house. And guess what? Your guard cats are no longer there to keep them from moving in. So you may have a couple of months, maybe even a couple of weeks without cats, but it's just a matter of time that a new crew moves in. And I have them in red because you don't know what their vaccination status is. You don't know anything. They may be sick. Who knows, right? So guess what? It turns out you had a female cat and she was pregnant and she just gave birth to a bunch of kittens. What? She brought her sister and she was pregnant too. Oh no, now you have 8 kittens to deal with. And guess what? The 2 boys that they came along with them are in heat and they're spraying all over your brand new car. All right. Of course, this is a made up scenario, but again, it actually happens way too often. So if you got rid of cats, it's just a matter of time before you have the same issue again. So again, doing the TNR stops what's called a vacuum effect, because this is what it is. So what happens is these cats are sucked in, just like, a vacuum sucks. So these cats are sucked into this new environment because there are no other cats there to block them. All right. And there's the numbers again. All right. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because y'all already knew. Okay. So this is what you're saying to yourself. All right, Yvonne. So I understand the importance of TNR and why it's done, but how do I even get started? I'm not an expert cat wrangler. I don't even know where to go. I don't know what I'm doing. I want to do this, but how? Oh my gosh. Boom. What do? The first step, numero uno, please go to our website, sanantonioferalcats.org, and sign up for our TNR class. Okay. So I'm actually going to show you how to do that now. You don't have to sign up now, but I'm just kind of showing you where it's done. Okay. All right, so this is our website, San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition. You're going to see our logo right there. We have our helpline, and I'll talk about that later. But right now, we're concentrating on this, okay? Sign up for our TNR classes. So right here, this is where you'll sign up for our TNR classes. You'll click the link, and then it'll give you some instructions on how to get the full class. All right, and since we're on the page, I want to give a shout out to Ansira Gives Back. So they are giving away $300,000, but they're doing it in different categories. So they're giving $100,000 for large category, one for medium, and one for small. So we were fortunate enough to make the small category. So out of all the small organizations or small nonprofit organizations in San Antonio, we were chosen as one of the top 5. So thank you all for those who voted, but we need you to keep voting. So you can come here every day. You have to vote for the month of May and press vote for us. And then all the votes are going to be tallied up at the end of the month. And then we'll find out who the winner is. All right. So hopefully we get that hopefully we get that $100,000 so we can continue working with helping you guys with cat issues, right? All right, so let's going back to the presentation. So you're like, Yvonne, so what does this class cover? Okay, so one, it's an hour long. All right, so the cool part about it, it's free, it's online. You can watch it day or night. You can watch it in your pajamas. You can watch it wherever you want. Okay, it's an hour long. It goes over TNR, but you already know about TNR, but it's going to go over it again, the vacuum effect. But we also go into how to catch the community cats. We show you what trap needs to be used. We even have the resources on where to get the traps. We show you and tell you where, what clinics to go to, which ones are subsidized by us, clinic costs, recovery protocols. So it walks you through every step of the process, I promise. Okay, so if you know nothing about TNR, after you watch this video, you will know almost everything you need to know for the city of San Antonio. And the good part is, if you still don't understand, we have a helpline, which I showed you on the website. You can always call it. One of our volunteers will answer and be able to answer any questions that you have. Oh, I actually have it on the next slide. All right, so how do we help the community? All right, so I have some kittens here, and I have a lady feeding kittens because we have people feeding cats all over the city of San Antonio because we love our gatos, right? And then on the other side, we have vet resources because we need to get those cats fixed. We have traps that we can lend out. We got clinics that can subsidize, but a lot of people don't know that those even exist. And that's where we come in as a San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition. So we do not work for the city of San Antonio. We do not work for any organization. We are volunteers with the city or with San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition. So what we do, provide information and training as you're getting today. We also do have subsidized clinic costs. So what that means is it costs approximately about $100-ish to get a cat fixed, right? So what we do is we'll pay $80 of that. So you, the public, only has to pay $20 of that because we really want people to use the program. All right. And if you go through the city of San Antonio, actually Animal Care Services, you can get the surgeries done for free. But again, go to our website, take the class, and it'll explain all those details for you. Okay. All right. We also do trap loans as well. So if we know not everybody just has a humane trap laying around, so we actually loan those out too. And we do, like mentioned before, have a 24-hour helpline to assist with any cat issues. So we're very proud of that. All volunteer organizations. So if you call, leave a message with your name and your phone number, one of our lovely volunteers, shout out to our helpline volunteers, will call you back and they will help you with whatever cat issue you are having. All right, so there's that. So we are here to help. You are not alone. Okay. Oh, I did have to reiterate, we do not pick up kittens. So sometimes people think no, we don't. So what we do is we empower people to do TNR themselves. We take out all the roadblocks to where community members can do it on their own. We just give the resources and make it really inexpensive. All right, so here it is, it's kitten time. Now, I do want to say this, okay? So I do have some pictures that are accompanied with this portion. Now, they're not gonna be cute and cuddly kitten pictures, okay? Because again, unfortunately, sometimes that's not the reality, all right? So kittens, so as we had talked about, animal shelters are extremely full right now. Like in San Antonio, extreme overpopulation. There's just way too many of them. And out of the kittens that are born, only a small percentage actually are picked up by fosters. Those are the very fortunate ones. Kitten mortality rates, usually 75%. Okay, so that means 75% of them, they don't make it. Okay, and this is I actually checked this statistic yesterday just to make sure that it was still accurate, and actually it's 75 to 80%. So the number is pretty high. And you're probably thinking, okay, so why are these kittens are dying? Starvation, diseases, weather, whether it's too hot, too cold, you know, rain, predators, because they are so tiny, and just trauma. Sometimes we have people that do horrible things to cats and kittens, and well, enough said with that. Okay, and so I did want to add this last one about a myth. So it's old school way of thinking, because you know, that's, I heard this when I was young as well. A female cat does not have to have a litter before she is fixed. I don't even know where that came from. That has no health benefits at all, none whatsoever. So they're, please don't just get them fixed. All right, so here are the pictures. So again, these are a little graphic. So this is the reality of kittens. Okay, so these are the things, and I want to say we, because again, with the volunteers, sometimes this is what we run into. Okay, trappers, again, sometimes we get there too late where the mom already had her kittens, and sometimes they are in horrible situations. And yes, it breaks our heart. And this is why we do what we do. We are in the business of ending suffering. We do not want this, right? So again, if you're thinking of letting your female cat or the community cat have kittens, please think again. Please don't give us the excuse, oh, well, that's not my cat. They're community cats. They kind of belong to everyone. Somebody needs to step up and just do what they got to do. Work as a community to make sure that this problem you know, doesn't continue. Okay, now it's not all doom and gloom. Okay, so I'm sorry that I had to show you all those, because some people actually want to foster kittens, few and far between. But if you are one of those people and you are willing to do it, just kind of keep in mind you're providing food, litter, toys, shelter, time, veterinary bills, having to find the fosters and placement yourselves. Again, it's not an impossible task, but it is time consuming, and you are in it for the long haul. We had people who wanted to foster. After 8 weeks in, they threw in the towel. They're like, we can't do this anymore. Y'all need to come pick up these cats. Please think about this decision before you decide to let a cat have her kittens. All right, now, what if the kittens are already here? Like, Yvonne, I wish I knew this like 2 months ago, but the kittens already here. Okay, so here you go. So if the kittens are friendly and healthy, all right, and you're able to handle them, meaning, you know, they're being socialized, you can try to find a foster, and I will show you where our foster list is on our website. Okay, so I'm going to show you where that's at. Also got a hold of ACS, Animal Care Services. Now, again, keep in mind that they have a full waiting list as well. Okay, but you can email this email address that I have here and just let them know what your situation is. Again, they would love to help everybody, but limited funds, resources, time, space. So there's that. Now, if you are unable to find a foster then you have to get the kittens TNR'd at 12 weeks. Okay, so that's kind of like your choice is either you find fosters for the kittens, or if not, those kittens have to just get returned back outside and they have to get fixed. All right, so there's that. And again, we help with getting them TNR'd. All right, and then I did have to mention this. Please, 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 please do not give these kittens away. When you say free, you have people out there that don't value just animal lives, and they'll do ridiculous things. I mean, look at this post here. I mean, heartbreaking, right? And it's not just cats, it's dogs, horses, and like other animals, the same thing. So just don't advertise them as free just because you don't want to deal with them. Like, again, just get your animals fixed, please, please. All right. Okay, so again, we're in the business of preventing suffering. So how do we do that? By getting our cats spayed and neutered. All right, so now we're on the part where it says how to live with cats in your neighborhood. So I have been asked to go over some problem areas. So we understand not everybody likes cats, and that's okay, you know, but again, one of our missions is to, again, peacefully coexist with the cats that are already in your neighborhood. So let's just say you have a neighbor who's okay with you feeding, but they really don't want those cats in their yard. What do you do? Okay, so I'm going to show you a resource, right? Okay, I'm going to show you a resource. There it is. Okay, So bam. So I'm right now, I'm in the Alley Cats website. So they are the national voice for feral cats. So we get a lot of information from them. Shout out to Alley Cat Allies, continue the good work. All right, how to live with cats in your neighborhood. So they have a brochure you could download and things like that. I also have it in my slideshow, but I wanted to show you where the source is. So they give you like the top 5, I guess, complaints the neighbors have, right? Okay, so what, okay, it goes about the vacuum effect. All right, so here's one. What do I do if cats are getting in the trash, right? So there's your problem. Why are they getting in the trash? Because cats are looking for food. And what does Alley Cat Allies do? They give you solutions. Secure your trash can. Find the neighbors that are feeding your cats. You know, consider feeding the cats yourself if nobody's feeding them, because if they're in your trash cans, they're hungry, they're looking for food. And so you have solutions there. All right, another problem. The cats are digging in my garden. I went, you know, to Home Depot and I bought all the nice plants, and now there's this damn cat in my yard and I don't want him in there. What do I do? All right. So why are the cats in there? Because they like to dig in soft or loose stool, moss, mulch, and sand. So cats are just doing what comes natural. Quick tips. Put out fragrances that keep cats away. So it goes into more detail on what those fragrances are. There's also what's called a scat mat. So these are plastic, so don't worry, they're not like hard metal. And as soon as a cat's paws touch that, they'll, right, and they'll go away. And they're unsightly. They even have them in green, so they match with your lawn if that's where you don't want the cats at. Okay, so there's a way to get them off. Cats are lounging around in my yard, in a porch, or my car. Why? Because they want to remain close to where their food's at. So somewhere, whether it's your trash can or you, it's they're getting food from somewhere, and they want to stay, right? So again, you have some quick tips on how you can help with that. So you can you know, shift the resource or where the food's being served. You can use the fragrances. Well, there's also a motion detector, motion activated sprinkler. So that's called the Scarecrow. And what it is you put it, it's done by water. You connect your water hose to it, and it's motion censored. So as soon as something triggers the sensor, it'll squirt water at that cat or dog or bird or whatever animal you're trying to keep off your lawn. It's harmless. The cat gets wet, life goes on, right? But it'll break the behavior of them going into spots you don't want them to go into. And of course, using a car cover. We had one incident to where a neighbor was mad, and I think it was the feeder actually bought the car cover for her neighbor and said, here, there you go. And that was so cool. So those little gestures like that will make a world of difference, right? I got cats sleeping under my porch or my shed. Why are they doing it? Because they're looking for dry, warm shelter. Again, just think about the cats. Just think about, like, why is the cat doing this? They're not doing it to piss you off. Promise. They're doing it because it's kind of comes natural to them. So again, you have some solutions here. Feeding cats attracts insects and wildlife. So we already kind of covered that. So if you're following the ordinances here in San Antonio, we should not be having this problem, right? Okay. Cats are yowling, fighting, spraying, roaming, having kittens. What do we do? TNR. So this will eliminate all of that, right? And this website actually gives some pretty cool information on more things besides just cat deterrence. Oh, I forgot to show you all this. Okay. If you do have kittens, right? So going back to the kitten, I apologize. I was going to show you all this. So again, going back to Alley Cat Allies as well, they do have a cool little flow chart. I'm not going to download it right now, but what it does is it kind of lets you know, like, okay, I found some kittens. What do I do? And then from there, you kind of follow the flow chart and just kind of do where it is that it directs you to. Okay. So like, again, not all cats want to be indoor cats, or if the cats are too old or too feral, they just can't make it inside. So you have to get them TNR. But again, the little brochure here gives a better illustration of what's that. And again, what do I do if I find a kitten? You caps that. So it gives you a lot of information, because again, they are the national voice of feral cats. Okay, so it gives you very specific information. So I please recommend reading this. You know, so you kind of know what's the appropriate action to do. Okay. All right. So I already went over all of this. All right. So we're already at the tail end of this presentation. So like I had stated, we are nonprofit organization. So we also write grants and we get donations, you know, and things like that. So one of the ways that we earn grants is by showing people who have the money, be like, hey, look what we're doing for the city of San Antonio. And one way of doing that is by our Google review. So if you appreciated this presentation, appreciate what it is that San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition is doing, we would really appreciate a good Google review so we can show, again, people that we are out here, you know, for the last 18 years working for the people of San Antonio to help them with their outdoor cat issues. Okay. We also are looking for volunteers. So we have various positions open. And so depending on what it is that you like doing, we try to pair you up with that. Like, for instance, I'm a talker, right? And I like, you know, talking and being loud and all that good stuff. So I'm using my superpower to help spread the word. But we have some people that would rather just not, you know, maybe they're the quiet, want to just, you know, clean a litter box or two at one of our Petcos, or they want to go out there with the adventure and trapping cats. Maybe they're good at computer skills and they want to help us with our website or, you know, mass media kind of thing, whatever, right? So there's that. So I'm going to show you where you can do that. Okay, so let's see, that's not it. All right, so I'm going to the next tab. Oh, I can't see it here. So back to our website here. There it is. All right, so if you go here and go to volunteer, you'll see the tab. You fill out the form, kind of pick what it is you're interested in. Doesn't mean you're locked down. Somebody will call you and we'll talk about it. And don't worry, every volunteer is thoroughly trained to do whatever it is that you signed up for. So if you want to help with cats and you're just not really sure how, just give us a try and maybe we'll be able to help you with that. All right, again, donations. So we do ask for donations. There is a donation tab on our website as well. So like I stated before, sometimes when we do our TNR trapping or the trappers are out there, you know, you all are out there and you're like, hey, we came across these really sick kittens. We don't know what to do. We don't have the money to afford to fix them, you know, or to get them well. We have that's where the donations are used for. So we actually try to get those cats back to health. If they're healthy and happy, we try to adopt them out. If they're still feral, we still try to get them healthy, but we just release them back outside to where we found them. Okay, because again, TNR. So we use the money for that. Again, we do use the money to subsidize the clinic. So again, we pay a large percentage of the vet bill, if you will, and you all only pay $20. But again, our class will show you how all of that works. I promise. Okay, and again, I already mentioned Ansara. So again, shout out to Ansara for letting us do this contest. I really hope we win. Okay, and before that, so one last thing, just want to show you on our website before we open up the floor to some Q&A. So again, this is our website. This is where you sign up for the TNR classes. This will give you everything that you need to know about what is TNR in San Antonio, like how it works, all your basics. Don't forget to vote here every day. We have our helpline phone number here. So if there's something on our website that you cannot find, you watched our training video and you're still kind of confused, you're not really sure about things, please call our helpline. One of our volunteers will call you. If you're looking to adopt, we have a Cats for Adoptions that we find. So again, please, use our website for whatever it is that you're looking for when it comes to outdoor cats, right? All right, and then this is it. So this is the call to action. So this is, I hold this true to my heart, not just with cats, but with everything. So again, a lot of things that we get are people say, these are not my cats. Why should I care? These are not my cats. Again, these are community cats, okay? So if it's not gonna be you, then who is it gonna be? If it's not gonna be now, then when? When you have pregnant cats and you have all these kittens running around and it's out of control and you can't feed them, and then it just becomes a really big nuisance. So I put this here as well, to think globally, act locally. So I do get a lot of calls, even some friends and family members, where they say, hey, there's a lot of cats running around our neighborhood. And what I suggest y'all do is get with other like-minded people, get on neighborhood app, put out a flyer. Somebody has to do something, okay? And just like, hey, I'm gonna try to TNR this cat or these cats. I'm gonna need some help. You're gonna be surprised of how many like-minded people there are like you. They just need somebody to start it, okay? So even if you have someone that says, oh, I don't wanna trap the cats, but I'll give you money, or I don't want to trap the cats, but I'll donate some cat food. So whatever help you can get. So if you do need help getting that started, please call our helpline. And that's actually the stuff that I specialize in. I love helping people to help their people to help cats. Okay. So again, you are not alone. Like-minded people stick together and we are here to help. Again, the first step, go to our website and sign up for the TNR class. I promise it'll answer almost all of your questions. All right. So woo, we made it. All right. So I am done with the formal part of the presentation. So now it is time to answer your questions and concerns. So I am ready to do that.
Thank you, Yvonne. That was a really fun presentation. I really enjoyed listening to all that.
Excellent.
I do have some thank yous in the chat. One says that their parents are notorious for feeding stray cats and they're going to try and get them to take the TNR training. I did have another question.
Yes.
When they were in college, a classmate fended off stray cats with a super soaker to stay away from the rental house to prevent spraying. Is that advised?
Well, the super soaker sounds kind of like it kind of sounds like that scarecrow that I was talking about, the sprinkler. So the difference is instead of it being motion activated, somebody's actually doing it. So that would be a humane deterrent because again, the cats are just going to get wet. But what I would advise is the cats are going there for a reason. So there's probably some kind of shelter, food source, water source. There's a reason why those cats are going over there. So I would suggest maybe they kind of find out why it is those cats are going there. It may be a dumpster, who knows? And see if there's volunteers or a volunteer that wouldn't mind feeding the cats away from the property. So what we recommend is if you can find public property, that's going to be your best bet because again, if it's public property, which belongs to the city of San Antonio, that means our ordinances also cover that land too, meaning there can be an authorized cat feeder just as long as they're following our ordinances. Cats are allowed to be outside just as long as they're fixed, and it is endorsed by animal control services or animal care services as well. So
we did have one last thank you for all the great information in the presentation. For those of you who joined us late, I do want to let you know that today's program has been recorded and it will be available on the library's YouTube channel within 1 to 2 weeks. Many links have also been shared in the chat, including the link to the coalition. The library has a guide, a pet guide with further resources for you to enjoy. And lastly, the alleycat.org website has been shared in the chat, as well as information about our local food bank, which has partnered with Daisy Cares to provide medical care and food at free or reduced prices. So the food bank is also another great resource if you need help taking care of the pet you already have. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but if you do have any further questions, please keep them coming in.